So, I just finished off playing a game called Chernobylite, which was released like 2 weeks ago or something like that. It took me forever to beat this because school kept getting in the way and being annoying. But yeah, over that 2-week period, I played it for about 17 hours and finally just finished the game. There's a lot to be said about it. It's a good game. It does the thing where you play a video game and you don't do it all in one sitting, so that when you finish you feel like really proud of yourself, like you've accomplished something. So I'm just on this I'm on this high right now, just enjoying the fact that I beat this game. I'm so excited about it. I'm still really happy. That doesn't change the fact that I do have some good and bad things to say, and I usually think that the best time to say them is right after finishing the material. The last video on the spider thing, I think I didn't really do that. I ended up having to script that because I didn't record it immediately after I was done with the show. This time I have time to record my audio right after finishing the game, so I'm super excited to talk about this a little. So Chernobylite, given the name, you can probably guess where this game's located. It's in Chernobyl. It's America. I couldn't have imagined that. But what the concept is you basically have to... I've heard a lot of people say it's like the Stalker games. I've never played the Stalker games, but that's what other people have said. So I guess it's basically just a Stalker game, but worse, but I don't really know. What I really enjoyed about it was basically the plot is you're following this Russian physicist that whose wife got... How do I even say it? his wife got kidnapped during the Chernobyl accident, kind of, was what I was getting out of the story. The story's a mess because you get it all out of order. So I mean, I'll probably join the subreddit later and then get a better grasp of what's going on, but that's a little more enthusiast than I think most people get with this game. I'm still so happy that I beat this thing. So your wife basically gets kidnapped by this Russian organization called NAR or NAR. I don't really know which one it's supposed to be, because I played the game in Russian. I didn't use the English voice acting setting because the game defaulted to Russian, and I mean, I watch a lot of anime, so I don't mind reading subtitles, so I just defaulted to doing that. So I played the whole game in Russian, and I heard some of the English voice acting when I had to look up stuff when the game design kind of wasn't telling me where to go. I recommend you play in Russian. I think it adds to the aesthetic of the area. Plus, there's you'll walk up on people out in the open world sometimes, and they'll just be playing hard bass, and there's nothing better than just a Russian shouting over generic Russian hard bass. It's phenomenal. One of the things that happens, so I guess the areas in the game that you're going through, there's 5 or 6 different constructed locations. Apparently the team that built this game used those photorealistic scans or whatever it is they do nowadays to get stuff to look realistic. I don't know, it gives the game an aesthetic. By the way, there's nothing worse than when you go out, because the weather changes in these areas depending on what day it is, because there's this day system. It took me about 26 days to actually complete everything in the game. Well, not everything in the game, but complete enough to get to the end. So days pass in the game. I'm not talking about 26 real days, live days. I'm talking about 26 days in the game. And then after those 20, however long it takes you, because you have the option to have it take more. But on those different days, stuff changes, and sometimes you'll get foggy weather or rainy weather or normal weather. And trust me, you want the sunny weather, because the rainy weather's okay, but the foggy weather is the worst. You can't see jack. It's annoying. I don't like it. I don't like the fog. But everything else is pretty cool. Anyway, the environments all look really good. It's got this, it's kind of oozing the Chernobyl aesthetic. The game's pretty dark, especially at first. I don't do well with games that are scary at all, and one of the first things it did in this was jump scare me, and I was not thrilled. But I eventually pushed through it, and once I kind of got familiar with the 5 or 6 different areas, because you go into each one multiple times, and these are big areas, but as I got more comfortable with these areas, I felt a lot more comfortable that I could whip around and then shoot some monster in the face with a railgun. Which, by the way, there's a handheld railgun in this game, and okay, so many games have the BFG problem where it's you give someone a phenomenal gun or something and then they never use it, and this game was great. It solved that problem by just adding an attachment for the gun where you could get infinite ammo. I cranked the damage. It was the highest damaging thing in the game, except for this plasma burner that I never bothered to unlock. I don't know how much damage they took, but out of all the other weapons and stuff that I unlocked. Oh my god, 9 damage, dude, and it recharged itself. Well, not like 9 RPG damage. The final boss has 10,000 health, so that wouldn't go too well if it only dealt 9 damage. It's a lot more than that, but it was like on the scale of 1 to 10, it had a 9, so it was pretty good. I liked it. So yeah, they solved the BFG problem by literally giving you infinite ammo and not making the BFG too OP. So it was pretty sweet. I liked that a lot. So yeah, on the 6 areas, there's all kinds of missions and stuff you go through, and there's creepy dolls and all kinds of other stuff that usually I can't handle very well, but I think that the game wasn't really scary, and like, people who are used to playing horror games won't find this terrifying at all, but like, all you gotta do is put like violin shrieking sound effects number 3 in the background, and then I'm just like about ready to curl up in a ball and cry usually. So yeah, game was good. I liked it. One thing, some stuff I didn't like, you'd sometimes have new enemies thrown at you. So there were human enemies and monster enemies, and like you get used to like these lurker shadow kind of things, and you get good at taking them out. But then there's also these things called dusters, and they like attach to walls and stuff and jump out at you, and they never told you what a duster is. You just have one jump out at you randomly during a mission once, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And then you just gotta like shoot it in the face and then move on with your day, but they jump out at you, and it's just surprising. And then I spawned into a level once, and I'm so glad I did this thing where you have this biometric scanner that can scan for loot and stuff out in the world that you need, and I'll highlight it. And then I got an upgrade for it like later on in the game that allowed me to see biometric life forms, right? I always scanned as soon as I got in to look for resources, and I looked around, and there were 2 of the dusters just waiting for me to walk like 3 steps forward as soon as I spawned in. I didn't understand why. I don't know whose idea that was. No. If I didn't have that biometric scanner, I probably would have just quit right there as soon as they both clotheslined me at the same time. I'd have just been done. Absolutely not. Too much jump scare. You don't expect that first thing when you load in a level, but there it was. So some other stuff, obviously it is a survival game, you gotta manage health. You can get like extra armor, which basically just operates as another health bar. I never really figured it out much, but I had the best items in the game going into the heist, which is like the last level that you have to do. One of the things you have to manage in this game is a little unique compared to others, is you have to manage your psyche. And as any good Russian man, you improve your psyche by downing vodka. Don't worry about getting vodka, you can always just kill some our soldiers because it's Russia, they've got vodka too. So it's pretty easy to get vodka, and it restores a lot of your psyche, as I guess it probably does in real life, I wouldn't know. You gotta manage your psyche, and especially at first, because he's a physicist, right? He's not a warrior or anything, he's not a soldier, so he's not used to killing people. So at first, you'll kill someone, your psyche will go down like 2 bars. It's not that bad. He's usually like kill 2 people, and then it goes down 1 bar, something like that. And yeah, really early on in the game when he's not used to killing people, that's when your psyche matters the most. But it is kind of funny that you'll be in the middle of an intense firefight in the later parts of the game, because you get into firefights with like 20 different guys at one point, and you're just down in vodka, man. As you're shooting guys, just shooting. You get through half of them. Oh, gotta stop and drink some vodka mid-fight because, otherwise I'm gonna go insane. I don't know what happens when your psyche hits 0 in this game. I didn't try it. I didn't die once during this entire game. I played it that carefully because that's just how I play games that scare me. And I played on medium difficulty, so it wasn't like the easiest thing ever, and I was running out of ammo on the final mission. I didn't die at all in this, so I don't even know what happens when you die. I did have one point where my health hit 0, but I had this self-reviving like stim thing that gets applied immediately when you die, but they're super expensive, so it's not unbalanced or anything. Another part of this game that I really liked was you could go back into your base and like build stuff, and I've heard people describe this as like a Fallout 4 style. I haven't played Fallout 4. That's just what GameRank said. I'm just verbatim. Don't get mad at me. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I really loved, especially early on, building my base up. I had like a section, because you have to get companions. You have to have 5 companions to do the final mission, and then you have to have beds for all of them. Otherwise, they get mad at you. And if your companions get mad at you, then they'll like leave or do weird stuff, or their stats go down and all. I don't know if their stats go down, but I don't really know, because I didn't make anybody mad enough to really do much. But that's because I gave them beds. They all had beds. So I had this like residential area set up, and they have all these like super expensive cool things you can get, and you have to manage the power in your base, so you have to have enough generators. But then because it's Chernobyl, you have to have like radiation safety stuff too, because some of your tech emits radiation. and it's all really, really cool. And I had like a farming area. I don't know, I really like the base building part of this game. It made me happy, and that's what matters. It was like it was cool to kind of have my space be personalized to me, because I don't know, I had like all my workbenches in one space, then my residential stuff, and then all the farm. I really liked it. It made me happy. I wish I could have spent the whole game in the base instead of having to go outside, because going outside was terrifying. I just the stuff out there. Yeah, Russia. Yeah, the final mission. So the whole game is basically an elaborate Russian version of the prep work for a GTA heist. You have to get clues as to kind of like what you're doing and what happened. I don't know if the guy has like memory loss or something, but you don't really know exactly what happened on the day your wife disappeared, so you have to figure all that out. So there's like a mystery side of it, and you also have to go and find companions to help you break back into the nuclear power plant so that you can get your wife, because at some point you confirm your wife is in the nuclear power plant, and then you have to also like get tools and stuff to make the heist easier. And when I did the heist, I did it with the mystery solved, and I had all 5 companions, but I was missing a tool. So I don't know how much missing that tool made a difference, but one of the coolest part of this game is, it's actually kind of sad. I didn't like when this happened, because it made me sad. But 2 of my friends, the companions that I made, died during the heist on the nuclear power plant. But that won't necessarily happen on your playthrough. Every choice you make in this game has impacts. They matter. Like a lot, especially in that heist mission at the end. The choices you make, who you let live, who you kill, yeah, I guess those were the 2 most important. But yeah, decisions you make throughout the game matter so much. Some of them matter a little, others matter a ton, and it's kind of cool. A lot of people like that sort of thing. I'm more of a linear based guy. I don't like the multiple ending style of stuff. I don't hate it. I like the ending I got. The ending I got was badass. The guy killed himself to save the world. It was great. But yeah, but I don't know if you know or not, there's a spoiler warning at the beginning of this video. So yeah, can't get mad at me for that. You know what you're getting into. Dude, the animation for it was so brutal too. He just plunged the knife into his chest and just ripped it across. He stuck it in and then ripped it across the rest of his chest too, with it stuck in all the way. Oh my god, the protagonist was such a Chad. And like the final boss of the whole thing, well, the final boss fight isn't actually the final boss, because the final boss is actually you, but from a different, like, actually, that's not true. He's not from a different timeline. Whatever, you can play the game and figure that out. It doesn't matter that much. It's not that interesting. But like the final boss is this like Dormammu I've come to bargain incident thing going on. It's super cool, and then he stabbed himself to save all of humanity, and then yeah, obviously he died. But oh my gosh, there's so many plot twists. I'm not gonna share all the spoilers. You only get like half the spoilers. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's worth 17 hours of work to see the ending, but if your plan was just to watch this video and not play the game, then go like watch the ending. Like look up a video of all the endings or something. I don't know. Cool game. Oh my gosh, my Discord just started ringing. I gotta dismiss it. Hopefully they don't call me again. Deafen Discord. Okay, recording video. Can't do Discord. If you like survival games, then you'll probably be able to enjoy this. If you like the Stalker series and are dying for more and are willing to put up with a slightly inferior game, probably this is good. I've never played Stalker. This is my first like survival game too. I don't usually play single player games. I don't know, but like beating this just it made me so happy. I'm so glad that I did it. I don't think it's for everybody, but I think that people that are into this genre of game can definitely enjoy it. Another part of like with all the companions and stuff is as you add companions, you have to like feed all of them and stuff, and it's you can't give one of them like more bread than someone else, because then people get mad. And there's just a lot of... I've never played a game where like my decision making matters this much. I guess there's like battle royales where it's like, oh, if I had have picked up that gun that did a little bit more damage, then I probably would have won this fight. But I mean, that's a self-reflection thing. This game is like there's actually like different events that happen and drastically affect the plot as you make different decisions. So super cool. Actually, the idea of how the game like changes so much is actually addressed in the story, which is really neat. So yeah, if you like story games, give it a shot. Well, sorry, not if you like story. I mean, if you like story games too, I mean, you shouldn't be disappointed. It's not a full-priced game. In reflection, it's pretty good for the price, actually. Definitely good for people who like the Russian game aesthetic, don't mind shooters, and like survival games. I'd say that's the crowd here that's gonna enjoy this one the most. But I think it can be enjoyed by other people too, because I sure liked it. I wouldn't give it like a super high rating. I know I'm saying a lot of good things about it. It's like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's not quite that. It's like 6 to 7 out of 10. Not that I have much to compare it to. I mean, like my other single player gaming experience is like Portal, which is like 10 out of 10 to most people. So I don't really know what I'm comparing it to here, but yeah, 6, 7 out of 10 game. I think it's pretty solid as far as like for the price point. It's really good. But yeah, some stuff I didn't like as much. At the very beginning, I didn't like it because your character just feels really weak. So I was playing the game super slowly, and that stressed me out a lot. But I mean, some people like that kind of thing, so I don't know. But as the game progressed, there was like two different sections where like it alternated in fun and not fun twice. So after my character started getting some good stuff, and especially when I got that railgun with the infinite ammo for the first time, I was so happy when I saw infinite ammo. Maybe I was like, ooh, that's great. Around that time, there was like probably 5 or 6 hours of gameplay that I thoroughly enjoyed. Like I liked the whole thing, and I actually like wanted to come back and play the game, because what I run into a lot of times with games like this is like I play it for a while, and like, you know, like my first sit down session, I'll probably play it for like 5 hours straight, and then I won't like most single player games I won't want to come back to, and then that's how I ended up with like 300 games in my Steam library. But with this one, I kind of made myself come back to it because I wanted to make a review video on it, because yeah, anyway, I came back and I made it through, like I played it for like 2 or 3 more hours, and I got through that. Like I didn't like want to come back, I guess. I wasn't dying to come back and play this game. I was just like, oh, I've got some time, I'm gonna play Chernobylite. 2 or 3 more hours in, and then I hit this other period. That's when my character got like better. Kind of like I felt like I wasn't necessarily in as much danger out in the world. That's when I really enjoyed it, and that was like a 6 or 7 hour period. And then after that, I started feeling pretty weak again. So I started like sneaking around. Like I didn't feel weak, but per se, like my character was way better, but the enemies were a lot stronger. It was mostly just a case of getting used to readjusting my playstyle. So I readjusted that, and that got really slow. That's where I've been for the past like two play sessions, I think, where I got really slow. And then the final mission. The final mission is when it picks back up again, because in that mission it's great. Lots of good gameplay. I think this game's at its best when you're shooting stuff, which is not most of the gameplay. Maybe that's just my gamer brain. I like to shoot the stuff in the game because that's why it's a first-person shooter. But yeah, I don't know. I think the combat in this game was a good balance of fun and stressful, especially since like if you die, you lose items, which I didn't die, but it told me that if I died, I'd lose items. So I'm just gonna trust it on that. There's two, like I'd say a solid like 8 to 12 hours of this 17-hour game for me was not nearly as fun as it could have been. But the other like 5 or 6 were really good. I'd have rather been, for those 5 or 6, this is like the game I would have preferred to be playing. For the rest of it, I'd rather have been playing Apex or Osu. But like the high at the end when you like beat a game, that's what makes it worth it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10 on like most people's scales, I'd say. It's not a bad game. It's a really good game. I'm pleased with the purchase. I got a lot out of it. But I mean, it's just, yeah, I can't even remember how much exactly was it. How much does Chernobylite cost? $30. Yeah, for $30, I got a really good game. For $30, this game's phenomenal. Made by a pretty small team, and it looks like, I mean, I think with some more gameplay mechanics and bigger worlds and more worlds and a little longer story, they could have easily slapped a $60 price tag on this. But for $30, it's definitely worth $30. I just wanted to say that this game's credits thanked everybody who sponsored the Kickstarter, and I watched all of it.